and welcome to Scandy Crafts. In today's knitting vlog or knitting podcast, we have 4 finished objects and we have 3 works in progress. So let's just get right into it. I'll give you a little bit of a life update at the end of the video if that's something you're interested in, or just scheduling things really. But for now, let's just get into it. As always, the larger projects I work on will be in my Ravelry that I will link below, and I will timestamp the knitting parts and the crochet parts, so if you're interested in only one of them, please look at the timestamps and I'll be sure to mark them for you. Alright, so what have I finished since last time? It's been a bit longer since I last filmed, so I have had some time. So let's start small and go into bigger. So let's start with the finished knitting objects. So the first finished knitting object is the part of my Stash Down series. It's these socks. This is 2 different yarns actually. It is Celia and Ida. I'll be sure to type up the names of the yarns up here so you can see them. These I planned to make for myself, but to be honest, I didn't quite think through these. I started working on a 3.5mm, but the yarn is kind of thinner, so I should have done a 3mm on these, and I should have done more stitches. So for these I used the Crazy Sock Ladies pattern that I often use. I did use the DK weight pattern, and that was fully my own mistake. It's not her fault. Her patterns are great. It's just me didn't quite think through. So these socks were meant to be for me, as they kind of like just leftover socks. But I will have to give them away. They are a bit smaller than I would like for my own feet. So that is the sock. I'm just looking over at my notes here. That is the 30th sock pair of the year. That is now done. I used 61 grams of yarn for these, and they're done, they're finished, but they won't be for me. They will be given away to someone that has a slightly smaller foot than me. I have a couple of people in mind, so that should be fine. So that is the first pair of finished objects, just a pair of socks, but it's the 30th of the year. Then, next finished object, we have another pair of socks. I have been making a lot of socks this year, as you can probably tell by my count. This is the 32nd pair of socks that I have finished this year. This is a pair of Regia socks. They are such a fun color. I have to say they are a little bit much for the brain to work with. You know, you can see all of the different colors. They work a lot. So I did actually work on these while watching some TV and some movies. I don't always have to watch when I knit. So socks are kind of a great TV or talking project for me. I can just go, and that really helps if the yarn is sort of messing with your mind a little bit, like this was for me. But these are for me. These are the 32nd pair, as I said. This is Regia 4 Fadig color, 4 ply. I did these on the 3mm, also Crazy Sock Lady pattern. These used 71 grams. So I'm very happy with these. Not much to tell. The fit is right, and they worked up quickly, no issues. So yeah, that is the second pair that I have finished for this knitting podcast. And then we have the third pair. This is sock pair number 33 of the year. These are also part of my Stash Down project. Working on my stash behind me here, I have a video of some specific skeins that I want to finish ideally before the end of the year. I can see now that everything won't be done before the end of the year because I'm also working on a few bigger items that I'll show you in a little bit. And I'm also working on Christmas gifts. So I can't fully dedicate my time to do that, but I have something in mind for the upcoming year. I'll hopefully get to that in December and tell you a little about a couple new projects that I'm looking forward to work on. This is a pair of black socks. This is also a Crazy Sock Lady. You can just assume, unless I tell you otherwise, that all the socks that I'm working on at the moment is from her pattern. This is from her free online YouTube pattern, by the way. So this pair of socks, black Avetta. I did a mistake here and I meant to correct it and I forgot. That happens. So I knit these on a 3mm. I used, 62 grams of Avetta. I try to include the amount because it's useful for me to see how much did I actually use. But I don't think you can actually tell the difference here. But what happened was I had just gone from a larger DK weight sock pair like these. It wasn't these, it was another pair, but I had just gone from these. When you do the DK weight, you have less stitches. So when you have less stitches and you do the toe decreases, you go down to a lower number before you do the final decrease. So what happened was I didn't think and I went down too far on the toe decrease before I finished it off, which meant that one pair of them is slightly longer in the toe and it's slightly more, I can't remember the word, I'll put it up here, but since they are black and since they are for me, I don't plan on going back and doing anything about it. If it was a gift, I would redo it, I would redo the toe. But it's black, it's not noticeable, it's just for me. I don't think you can even see it. Can I actually tell which it is? It's this part here on one sock is a bit longer than the other. It might be this one, but I'm not sure. So it might be very hard to tell on camera to you. But if you can figure out which one it is, please let me know. It doesn't matter much since, again, it's just for me, but it was kind of a fun little thing that I did that I didn't plan to do at all, and I planned on fixing it. I even wrote down, remember to fix this, remember to just match it on the other one, and I forgot. So there you go. Mistakes happened, and that's just part of knitting and crocheting, and that's completely fine. I think especially when you make things for yourself, some people will correct everything and that's completely fine. You do whatever you're comfortable with. I won't always. It depends on how visible is it actually. Will it annoy me? Like if it were something up here, yes, that would annoy me and I would fix it. And I did, making this crochet sweater. But for a black sock, only for me, nah, I'm not gonna fix it. So we have 3 pairs of socks, so I'm looking forward to wearing these now. They have been sitting in my basket here until I got to record this, so I'm looking forward to using these now, or 2 of them. The 3rd pair will have to be a gift. So let's get into my one finished crochet item, and it's a big one. You did watch it in my last knitting podcast if you watched that. And I'll have to do a little bit of cutaways here to film for you so you can see the full size. But this is a granny hexagon cardigan. This is the yarn that I fell in love with at the yarn store. And it is pretty long, it is pretty big. It's for me again. So you can see a little bit here, but I think the yarn is such a gorgeous, gorgeous color. I just really love it. So this is the Passionate Kelsey pattern. I did buy her pretty recently released written pattern for it, and I did that because I think she had said that she had done a couple of updates on the pattern. So this one is actually a combination of both the free YouTube tutorial and the written pattern that I bought. And I think it came out great. There was a couple of small changes on the written pattern that I preferred, so if this is something you want to make, I would say that the written pattern has a few updates that I think works better, but I have made several of these in just the free YouTube tutorials, so you can use that too. And I really love how random, you know, the colors are. This is my first larger knit or crochet item with sort of a larger 100 gram skeins of this kind of variegated yarn, and I really love how it came out. So this is going to get a lot of use, and you can find this on my Ravelry page. For the moment, I don't put all of the socks that I do on Ravelry. I might do that in the future, but for now I'm doing the bigger items, sort of like this sweater and this one, and then something I'm going to show you later. So that is that. I have a few skeins left, and where I live I can return that yarn, so I might do that. But also I really love that yarn, so I'm thinking maybe I could do a hat, maybe I should do a little scarf or something. I haven't decided, but I have 3 skeins left. So this didn't use as much yarn as I thought it would. It used 618 grams. When I have made these types of sweaters before, it's been more like 800 to 1200, so that's good. A bit less yarn used there. But yeah, this is my one finished crochet, and I am really happy about it. Alright, so let's get into what I'm currently working on, what is my work in progresses, and we have 3. We actually have 4, but I am working on Christmas gifts at the moment, and I'm not going to show them in the very rare chance that someone I know might watch this. I don't think that's a problem, but you know, just in case. So the 4th project is also underway, but I won't be showing that. So let's start with knitting again. I'm trying to make this kind of easy to follow, so it's knit, crochet, knit, crochet. But we can do knit. Last time I can't remember if I had just started these or if I was meaning to, but this is what I call twist socks. It is for my husband. So these socks are going to be without a heel. I just continue the pattern going around and around and around until my double-stranded yarn here is almost done, and then I will do the toe. So this is a pattern that my husband's grandmother had, and she had made him one of these pairs many years ago. That pair was sort of used up. So a few years ago he asked me, could you please replicate this? Could you make this for me? And I did so. And he really loves these socks. This is the warmest socks he has. It's double-stranded Sunness Perfect. It's really warm. So when he said, could you please make another one, I bought the yarn. I've had the yarn for a while, and this is also part of my stash down challenge for the year. And yeah, I decided to just start them, get them going. This is a good project for when I have people over or watch some TV. And it's very simple. It's just doing repeats all the time. They will get pretty long. I think I can remember them getting to like maybe this length. They do get pretty long, so I have a good way to go. But I wanted to at least get them started so I could show you how they will look. And these get super warm, and even without a heel they do fit pretty well. So yeah, I am on sock number 1. This is Sunness Perfect, and I expect to use 4 skeins for this. I am doing a magic loop, but it's just back and forth since there's no heel, so it's pretty easy. Last time I did these, I did it on DPNs. This year I actually taught myself to do magic loop, and I have to say I really prefer that. So it's just 2 less needles to handle and much easier. So, and it's less hand pain if that's something that you're dealing with. So yeah, that is the twist socks update. Those will be socks number 31 for this year, and I hope to finish them this year, but the Christmas gifts will have to be the priority. All right, then we have a big item that I am working on. It's the Nordheimsund jakke. I will insert a photo here of what it will look like. I finished the main parts, the body. It's a cardigan, so it worked up until under the arms, and then doing the back, and then both the front parts. I haven't yet done the weaving in of the ends, but this is what it looks like at the moment. That's the front, and then we have the back. This is on 7mm needles, so it works up pretty fast. I have to say that I was a bit unsure about the yarn when I first started, because the yarn sort of splits very easy, at least in the first round. But it did end up working out well, and it's a very soft and very squishy yarn. I can't explain it much. It's the Viking garn Snorre, and I was a bit unsure if I would need 1 kilo of yarn for this, but I think that might actually be the case. I have just 4 skeins left, and I just started the arm, and I still have to do this part here. Can't remember the name, I'll put it up here. But yeah, so the big part is done, and then I just started the first arm. So this is this. So it's just following the same pattern. It's really easy to follow. It's just 4 row repeats. I did actually start this on DPNs, 7mm DPNs, and wow, I had forgotten just how much more that is to handle than just doing a magic loop. I had one pair, yeah, I did put them away. I had one pair of 7mm, and it was probably aluminum, but they were pretty light, but they were so cold. They were so cold to work with. And they were pretty long too, maybe 20 centimeters. And I'd forgotten just how much DPNs can really stab you while you work on your project. So I did start, and I didn't come far until I decided I just can't do this. I have gotten too used to magic loops. So I did cast on my 7mm Knit Pros. I prefer using the cubic one, actually, for most of my projects. That's another story. But I only had a 80 centimeter wire available, and I had to frog that. It wasn't possible to work with. So I actually had to go to the store and get some 120 centimeter wires, and that's just enough for this. I did also get a 150 centimeter one that would also work fine, but this works well. It's just enough, and I'm careful while I'm doing it. So yeah, that's a little bit of a needle rant. I don't know if I can do DPNs much more anymore, at least not on bigger ones, bigger needles. So yeah, that is my knitting project on the go, my big Nordheimsund jacket. I really hope to have this done maybe until the next knitting podcast, hopefully. I would really like to get this done and be able to wear it for Christmas, just putting it over as a big cardigan over, a Christmas outfit, or just going out to the car and then driving somewhere. So I'm really looking forward to finishing this, and I hope I have enough yarn, and yeah, we'll just see how this works up. And then we have the last work in progress, which is a crochet project. I got a lot of drops Lima yarn from a friend of mine. She wasn't going to use it. So I did think about making a sweater of this, a very colorful one. I decided against that though, because I have a lot of really warm sweaters already, and I am working on my everyday wardrobe, which means I will have to make some more year-round items like this one. And that means that I didn't want to make a sweater, so I had to come up with something else. I am redoing this room here, and I had a thought of making a blanket. I have never made, I might be lying here, but I can't remember ever having actually made a large blanket before. I have wanted to, and I have been thinking about some designs, but I can't remember if I have actually done it. I've made a lot of smaller blankets, but I like throw size or a blanket to use in the couch size. I can't remember having actually done that, so it is time. And the great thing about all of this yarn that my friend gifted to me is it's so colorful. So what I'm doing is I am doing solid granny squares. I have never done that before, so that's something new I had to learn. This is just one of them. They look like this, so you still have the holes on the corner parts here, but otherwise they are more solid. And I'm doing that because I do want this blanket to be really warm and nice. I am doing 6 rows for now. I have been making just a few. These work up really quickly. I think it's about 20 minutes for one. So I have 2 pink ones for the moment. I have 3 purple ones. I have 3 yellow ones. I have 3 green ones, and I have 3 red ones. I have a lot of other colors to make here too, so that will keep me busy for a while. And at the moment, I'm thinking of doing 1 or 2 more rows in black and have a black bead color that will tie it all together. I haven't done the math yet on how large I want it or how many different colors I want, but my plan for now is just using what I have and using up all the colors that I have. This is just a few of them. I have a lot of warm sort of reds and purples and other green colors. I have searched a little bit to find join as you go with a solid granny square stitch. I haven't found it yet, so if you have that or have a link for me, I would greatly appreciate it. If not, I'll just do it the normal sewing it together way. But yeah, I think this will be fun. It's very fun and easy to do for the moment. I think everyone that's done a larger project like a big blanket know that the end part and, you know, sewing, weaving in all the ends, I haven't done that yet. I'm hoping to be kind of good on doing that as I go. And yeah, I think it will be black, 1 or maybe 2 rows before I tie them together. So I'm hoping for kind of like a little bit wider black part that will go amongst all of these. I haven't thought of the layout or anything yet, so my plan is to just continue until I have done all of the colors that I already have, and then see, do I need more? I know I will have to buy more black for sure. That will be a lot of black. I think I just have 1 skein. I am just picking a color and working up. It seems that most single skeins make just about 3 of these. So I think we'll be on a good way with the ones I already have. I would show you, but they're deep in my stash here, so I'm not going to. But I think we can go, I hope we can, I don't think we can get fully there with this blanket with the yarn I have, but I think we can get at least well over halfway, maybe even more. I think this will be really fun. It will be a blanket, I think mostly for this room. I'm planning on having a nice chair or a little sofa here, so I can have that as a throw blanket, maybe in the background, maybe using it. If I really love it and find it practical, maybe it will go live in the living room. We'll just have to see. But I have started my first large size blanket that I can remember. Let's hope that's the truth. I think it is. I have been looking through old pictures and I can't find any, and I find that weird because why wouldn't I make a big blanket? We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 and 14 at the moment. I will probably need close to 100, but haven't done the math yet. We will see. That is my work in progresses. I do have one more, won't be showing it because it's a Christmas gift. So yeah, if you have been watching this far, thank you so much. I'll get into a little sort of like live/channel update. I have the goal of always publishing at least a video every 2 weeks. I did miss the last one 2 weeks ago. I'm very sorry about that. Life has been lifing lately and some things have just been a bit hard, so I haven't been able to film, so I'm very sorry about that. I am trying to now film a week ahead of putting the video out, so it's been 3 weeks since I filmed last time, which is why I got a good part of things finished. And I am hoping that that will help make sure that I don't miss videos again. That's never my goal. I'll always do my best to get them out. And I'm hoping to one day be able to do a video every week. I'm working towards that. And I think filming a bit the week before will help me sort of do that, to have some extra time to edit and everything. This video here, I'm trying not to edit much to see how that is with the flow of things. So if I say something wrong, I might cut that out, but I'm trying to do it kind of like one take, and hopefully that will work and that will make it easier to film, make that go a little bit quicker for these knitting podcasts. And then I have been planning a few videos for sort of the end of year, start of new year. I have a few projects that I want to start going for the next year. I have a few videos that I want to film for the end of the year. So hopefully I can get that done for you, and if there's anything you're curious about, please let me know. I have been starting to look at furniture for this room. I am looking at other people's crafting rooms, knitting and crochet rooms to look at some fun inspo. I have been looking at those, is it called a pegboard? Where you just sort of have like a big board hanging and then you can have the skeins sort of just hanging down. I think that looks pretty good. Might do that. And I'm doing the blanket for this room. So we have been starting, but we are also doing a reno somewhere else in the house. So that needs to be done first. So this room is sort of like the next priority. But I have been thinking about just getting some of the furniture soon and just putting it in here to make it a bit easier to film, and even more important, a bit easier to use for me. I have all of my knitting needles just in one big basket here. I'll actually show you. These are, all of my knitting needles and crochet hooks. And every time I need a new needle or a new hook, I go into here and just a few days ago when I was looking for the wire to make the arm for the Nordheimsen jacket, I was just so annoyed at my non-functioning system. So I'm thinking about maybe doing that in a video, how I organize them, things like that. I think I'm going to do a few like organizational videos when I get my room up and going, so maybe you'll be interested in that. I think that sort of content is really fun to watch and get some ideas from other people, how they do it. Winter has really come here now. Tonight it was like -8 here, Celsius, which is really cold. And it's finally time to wear all the wool clothes and just bundle up and be cozy. It gets dark around 4 here now, which is so early. I think that even though I'm born and raised here, we never really get used to it, and it's sort of like the cozy season. We need to do every little self-care thing to make sure that we make the season as bearable as possible. And part of that is keeping busy with hobbies and knitting and crocheting. So I've been doing that a lot, and I'm really looking forward to wearing the bigger items that I have been making, being able to wear them now this season. And yeah, sorry, that got a bit rambly, but yeah, it's cold here, it's dark here. I'm filming this pretty early in the day because the sunlight is kind of coming in right now. And yeah, I have been loving doing my knitting and crocheting lately. I think filming these videos for you has been so fun as well, so I'm hoping to get into the schedule now and that life won't be interfering, and at least filming a bit earlier will help remedy that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any good ideas about knitting, organization and crafting rooms, please send them my way. I'm still in the thinking phase, but I'm really looking forward to getting this room up and going for me, so it will be much more easy to find the things I need when I need them. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.